Hey guys, Chance here with Rocky Mountain, here to give you our 2019 Husqvarna TE300i bike build. Now, as we all know, Husqvarna and the sister company KTM have always made some of the best off-road enduro models around. Any podium in the hard enduro races are commonly swept by these bikes. And the reason for that is because they're some of the only two-strokes to receive competitive updates and new technology. Now, the newest technology that these two-stroke models are receiving is the transfer port injection. This technology just hit the market last year, and it's been awesome so far. A lot of the benefits are no jetting issues. When you're doing big elevation changes in a ride, there's absolutely no problem with the jetting. The throttle response is flawless. You have the power right where you need it anytime. Also, there's less oil consumption. It's an oil injection system, so it's giving you the perfect ratio every single time. Now, some of the downsides you might find on the internet for this bike, the cost of the bike is going to be more expensive for the initial purchase, rebuilding, and even maintenance. The lack of adjustability for the power valve, Husqvarna doesn't want us touching it. And old news is they still don't come with a spark arrestor for those who need it. However, after riding this TE300i for a while and getting to know it better, we have truly found out if this bike has any downsides. And if it does, are we able to fight those downsides a little with some aftermarket parts? Now, this bike will be doing mostly mountainous single track riding, maybe a little slick rock down in Moab, and a little bit of desert. So we have set this bike up to match those conditions. However, if I were to take it to the next step and race this bike, there's a few parts I might want to exchange or swap out, but I'll talk about that later. Right now, let's get into this bike and show you what I've done. Now, starting with the motor, there's not a lot we can do as for power. However, the power on this machine is awesome. It flatters any skill level, whether you're looking for a nice, easy, calm trail ride, or if you're an A-level rider looking to push the limits, the power will handle anything you throw at it. However, there are a few aftermarket parts we can throw on this to help us better control that power. So we did so by adding the Radius CX clutch. Now, this clutch is awesome because it gives us better power transfer than the stock clutch components. It gives us a full auto clutch, so it makes up for my mistakes, and it promotes better oil flow, giving us cooler clutch running temperatures, and that gives us better longevity of this clutch. Now, another benefit of running this Recluse is the adjustable slave cylinder that it comes with. Online, you'll see some talk of the seal on the stock slave cylinder unit possibly failing on you, leaving you stranded up in the mountains. This just gives us a little more peace of mind. We've also thrown on a gnarly torque pipe and a turbine core 2.1 silencer. The gnarly torque pipe is awesome. It promotes a little more bottom end power, and it's a thicker gauge steel. The turbine core 2.1 gives us that spark arrestor that we need, and it looks dang nice. We've also thrown on a Husqvarna digital radiator fan kit to help keep the motor cool. Now, moving on to the protection of this bike, we've also thrown on P3 carbon fiber pipe guard and skid plate. The pipe guard and skid plate, they're extremely light, super durable, and they look awesome. Next, we've got a few protection items coming from Tusk. We've got a universal linkage guard. It attaches to most any skid plate. We've got the brake caliper support with disc guard, helps keeping that rotor safe. And we've also got the D-Flex Pro handguards keeping our hands safe. Now, after wearing out the stock sprockets and chain, we opted to replace them with the primary drive setup. We have the gold X-ring chain on there. We've got an anodized blue aluminum rear sprocket, steel front sprocket, and we opted to change out that countershaft dome spring washer. The stock one, it loses its spring after a while, so we put the upgraded one from primary drive on there. A couple other items that we've replaced because we've worn them out is this folding shift lever coming from Tusk, and also the brake pedal replacement tip. They've got some awesome colors, and it's a good replacement when you wear out your stock parts. Now, as for the wheels on this bike, we went with the Tusk Impact wheels. They're super strong, great price, and we'll probably be running a spare tire with the trials tire on it, so it's a great option. Today we've got the MX33 tires coming from Dunlop, brand new tires, awesome grip, and inside we've got some Bridgestone ultra heavy duty tubes to help prevent those flats. Now, on the set of wheels, we've put the Tusk Typhoon brake rotors on. They're awesome replacements, and the front rotor gives us the option of running the stock OEM magnet for the Speedo. And to make those wheel changes just a little bit quicker, we've added some Enduro Engineering axle pulls. Makes it a little bit quicker to get that trials tire on there. Now as for the suspension on this bike, we sent our suspension off to Dick's Racing. Now Dick's Racing specializes in off-road suspension. They are featured a lot in Dirt Bike Magazine bike builds, and it's nice because he sets it up for your weight, your skill level, and the type of riding you'll be doing. So now this bike is super planted over the rocks, it's comfortable over square edge, roots, anything we ride over, and it's plush enough to where we can ride all day. Now to complement the suspension, we have the BRP dampened handlebar clamp and the Scott's under mount stabilizer. Now this is an awesome setup because it dampens any vibrations we might encounter, and then the stabilizer itself, it's nice security. It helps us on those high speed sections, keeping us a little safer. And then to keep those throttle cables under control, we've got a clean speed cable guide. And staying on the handlebars, keeping our hands comfortable all day, we've chosen to stick with the ODI grips just because of the ease of installation. They're super comfortable, and then we've thrown on some grip donuts. We added a Tusk Enduro lighting kit. We have the integrated turn signals up front in the handguards, and in the rear, we've got the Tusk mini flush mount turn signals. We then added a dual sport mirror from Tusk. It's nice because it's small and conspicuous, and it folds out of the way really nicely. From there, we added a license plate mount, a license plate light, and a horn. Now to tie all that electrical together, we've got the Tusk compact control switch. This controls all of our turn signals, horn, and it also gives us the option of a low and high beam. Now moving on to the body of this bike, there's a few things that we opted to keep stock. We kept the stock fuel tank because we won't need any more miles than this tank will produce. The stock foot pegs, they're one of the best OE foot pegs on the market, so we've opted to keep those. Now the stock kickstand started to wear out a little bit, so we replaced it with a Tusk kickstand in black. It looks a lot better with this bike. We also threw on the Acerbis X-Grip frame guards. They protect the same as the stock frame guards, however, they do add a little extra grip and control of the bike. We also replaced a few of the plastic pieces to help customize the color a little bit. We then removed the blue seat cover and replaced it with this factory seat cover coming from Attack Graphics. It's a nice black gripper seat cover with white pleats. It matches very well with this graphics kit also from Attack Graphics. And of course, we had to trick this thing out and make it the best looking thing on the trail. So we did so by adding a few billet aluminum parts coming from Tusk, like the power valve cover, axle blocks, nylock axle nut, and the oil filler cap. Now wrapping this thing up, it's true there are a lot of electricals on this bike. However, everything's got its place. It's easy to locate all the parts, easy to test them if needed, and we haven't had any issues so far. As for the cost, it's true it is more expensive, but you are paying for convenience. You don't have to mess with jets, needles, jet kits, or you don't even have to buy yourself a designated pre-mixed gas can. And with the power valve, in my opinion, it doesn't need to be messed with. It would be nice to see that option in the future for those who want to mess with power and possibly change it up a little bit. But the power this bike produces is awesome, and it took just a few parts to really customize how we can use that power. And that's it. That is our TE300i bike build. It was fun turning this already awesome bike into a more personalized bike. Now, if I were to go race this bike, a few things that I would change out would be the exhaust. I'd probably go to more of a fatty moto pipe, give me a little more power up top, possibly throw some steg pegs on there. Come to enjoy those. And then some radiator braces just for some more protection in case I go down. So be sure and comment. I want to know, is this too much or is it not enough? Let us know. Be sure and subscribe for more bike builds, how-tos, and bike reviews. And to find all these parts on this bike and more, be sure and check out our website. I'm Chance with Rocky Mountain. Thanks for watching.